All right, so this is going to be a QL extension. You're going to use the 45-degree back extension. You can do a 90-degree back extension machine. However, that's going to be a lot harder. What you want to do on this guy, your feet. Now, a lot of people kind of get confused. Should you go bottom foot in front or top foot in front? It doesn't really matter, but it will feel different either way that you do it. So another option here is going to be feet together. Truthfully, how I coach it now in person, start with your feet together because that's going to be the easiest. And then later on, play around with, hey, do I like the bottom foot in front or do I like the top foot in front? Just like this. Whatever works the best is what's going to work the best for you. So I'm going to go feet together for the sake of this. In the beginning, you just start off like this. Hand on the handle right here, leaning in, big stretch just like that. We're working to open everything up in here. Once you don't need that though, you go without it, focus on that reach. I like to advance it by putting the hand on the ear and cueing people to relax the head and neck to create this half moon shape here at the bottom. It should feel IT band, side glute, all the way into your obliques and QL muscles around the side here, and then even into your lats as you do it. One thing I like to do with this is also get a PVC. And now how I coach people in person, first time ever doing it, I'll put a PVC on their back, have them do it just like this, because what happens with this left arm down here, you can kind of crank it to really open up into that position. If you really want to challenge, you go overhead, and this translates a lot into the handstand for balance in that overhead position. So this one's great. Andrew, you want to come over, man?
Sure.
I'm going to have him go ahead and show a couple variations.
Which one would you like us to
however
do?
you want. I'm going to show how, in person, I'll get my hands on people.
Which variation are we
Let's
doing?
go dumbbell.
Dumbbell?
Yeah. So show me the form that you see a lot of people walking in with like the hinged hips, a little crooked.
So a lot of times, especially when we add weight, we kind of tend to rotate forward like this.
Yep.
And kind of twist our spine. A lot of times we also have a tendency for our trunk to lean forwards. So it can kind of even look like this.
Yeah, it's almost like he's deadlifting, right? The hips are going back.
You want me to do it properly now?
Yeah, so I want you actually to be in that bad position. So if you have the luxury of somebody in person with you, what I like to do, hand on top of his hip to stabilize here. I'm going to cue to open up this top shoulder and keep everything in a straight line from the knee into the shoulder. And so I'll lock in here. I'll push him down to get into this stretch. He's pretty mobile, so he can get into it on his own. But if you have the luxury of a workout partner or somebody, don't be afraid to push a little bit here, especially if someone's real stiff in the beginning. I had a 67-year-old client who his whole range of motion was right here to begin with, right? So he needed me to push down for an extra inch even to be able to gain a little bit more mobility in there. So start wherever you can start, but don't be afraid to get your hands on people. And another one we've really enjoyed, do you want to show the med ball one?
Sure.
So that dumbbell on the side is nice. And the standard for that is going to be a quarter of your body weight in that dumbbell hand. So it's almost like a QL deadlift like that, but 10 reps, quarter body weight. So if you weigh 200, 50 pounds is the easy math on this. This one, what's nice here is he's going to hold this med ball. He's going to wrap around it. So now he's got to create stretching while staying tight through his midsection up. So this one is a lot harder. I'm only going to have you do two more on this one, Andrew. But because he's reaching around, go ahead and move at whatever pace feels good, man. He's reaching around like this, so he's locking in that upper body too and teaching rigidity and core tightness. And he's even separating the scapula here too, just to make that rounded position. So this is great for the shoulder health, for him, for everything. You can hop off of that one. So this one's new. I really like it as another way to load it, but you can do PVC, you can do dumbbell, you can do med ball. Start off with body weight. Do 2 sets of 5 your first day doing it. Don't come in trying to do like 3 sets of 10 because you're going to be super sore.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this might be the sorest that ever was after my first time doing an exercise.
Yeah, I've had people do
QLs.
Like, if you put someone on 1 set of 10, even on their first day, it's like they might not be able to move the next day.
Yeah, like especially if I have any older clients. I had a guy come in today, he's 52. We did 1 set of 3, or 2 sets of 3.
2 sets of 3. Whoa,
Smoked.
he was stiff then.
So stiff.
Yeah.
So stiff.
Yeah. So that's how you do a QL extension. It's probably the best lower back evener and balancer out of any exercise I know. Man, do you have any last words on it?
Man, I think if you follow the progressions that Patrick just laid out, especially starting with the assisted hand on the side, opening it to body weight, then kind of traveling, I would think, into the weighted, because sometimes the weighted dumbbell down here helps you get that full range of motion, especially if you don't have the luxury of an in-person coach.
Great point, man.
With your hands. But no, I think the way you laid it out, man, if people were to follow that, a lot of the time, this is one of the most neglected, movement patterns that people have that we probably see as a weak link in most of our clients.
Everyone's imbalanced on this.
So in terms of like, can you get a lot of bang for your buck? This is a massive value exercise.
For sure. And just to echo a little bit on what he said there, if you're feeling stiff in this, grab some weight. Sometimes, like if you're just doing body weight and you're not making any progress, don't stick with just body weight for too long. Like the weight will stop you. You can let it go if it's too much, but grab like 10 to 20 pounds and let that pull you. It's kind of like a split squat. It might help you get a deeper stretch. Final thing here too is if you don't have this machine here, you can always do a side bend to get some of this benefit, really focusing on the same cues here of opening everything up in this lateral line. So this will help out a lot with any lower back issues, and it's just a great overall exercise. Thanks, bro.